What's up guys, it's James Allen, the Out-of-State Investor, and today we're going to continue with our mini-series and get into part 3 of how to buy a rental property. I'm going to talk specifically about building a real estate team because your team is what's going to help solidify your investments and help you grow over the long term. I've had the opportunity to build teams in 3 different markets and I've learned a lot of things along the way, which I'll share with you right now. But before I do that, go ahead and smash that like button and push the subscribe button below if you haven't already done so. With that said, let's get into it. Today I want to go over 7 different team members that you're going to want to establish relationships with if you want long-term success buying rental properties. So let's start with what I consider to be one of your most important team members. Number 1, real estate agent. Your real estate agent is one of your most important team members because they're going to help you through the whole process of buying a rental property. Now you might be wondering, what makes a good agent? It's a good question and probably comes with a lot of different answers depending on who you ask. But for me, what makes a great real estate agent for investors is the following 6 things. Number 1, they're knowledgeable about their local market. This one for me is the most important one because if they know their market, then they'll be able to guide you when you're starting off in an area that maybe you don't know inside and out yet. They may be able to tell you that a house that looks good from a numbers perspective actually happens to be on that one bad street that nobody wants to be on. Number 2, they're responsive. They consistently pick up their phone when you call them, or they get back to you quickly if they were busy at the time. This is important because if you find a great deal on the market, you'll want to move fast. I've won some great deals before because simply I was the first one to act on it, and having a responsive agent is exactly what made that happen. Number 3, they have great contacts. When you're dealing with great agents, they're likely to know other great team members as well that they may be able to refer over to you, including lenders, contractors, property managers, and more. This is a big bonus because oftentimes when you go off a recommendation from your real estate agent, it's going to be more likely to net you better results than trying to find those team members online or somewhere else by yourself. Number 4, they know how to evaluate properties. You want someone who can accurately evaluate what the property is worth or what the ARV or after repair value would be if you were to rehab it. It's also great if they understand how to run the math on rental properties to help figure out if it would be a good deal or not. But honestly, I prefer doing that math myself, and I suggest you get good at running those numbers as well. The good news is we'll be touching on that in the next episode, so be sure to look out for that. Number 5, they're investors themselves. This is helpful because they'll understand a lot of the nuances that investors are looking for in a deal. They'll also know that you're not looking for pretty retail deals with everything already renovated. With all that said, keep in mind, it's not the end of the world if they're not investors themselves. You can train them along the way to help understand exactly what it is you're looking for. But if you are just getting started, I recommend going with an agent who has rental properties themselves and understands what a good deal looks like. Number 6, they send you pocket listings. Pocket listings are basically deals that are not listed on the market. And this is really handy as an investor because if it's a good deal, you'll have no competition. When good deals hit the market, all the hungry first-time investors or even experienced investors will jump all over it. And many times you'll see that the winning bid is often too high for it to be a good deal anymore. But if I'm being honest, pocket listings are most likely something to come down the road as you build a relationship with your agent. If you're dealing with an agent that deals with a lot of investors, then that agent is more likely to pass off the pocket listing to one of her best investor clients before a newbie that they've never closed a deal with before. Number 2, property manager. Your property manager is arguably the most important team member when it comes to rental properties. And this is because they're going to be the ones managing it day in and day out. Now you always have the option to be your own property manager, but I prefer to pass it off to a professional management company so that I don't have to be bothered with late night maintenance calls, dealing with evictions, or trying to fill in vacancies. Here are 6 different attributes that I look for in a good property manager. Number 1, they're responsive. I need a property manager that will pick up the phone most of the times I call, or they send emails back if I email them about an issue. This makes life so much easier, and I can't even imagine how stressful things would be if I didn't have property management that was responsive. Number 2, they can evaluate rent prices. A good property manager will be able to give you insight on what a property could rent for and will normally be a better resource for that information than anything you'll find online because they deal with rental properties all the time. They should also be able to send you a CMA, also known as a comparative market analysis, on any rental property in your area that you're considering. Number 3, they're knowledgeable about their local market. If you find a property that looks good from a numbers perspective, your property manager can be a second opinion to your real estate agent about how an area will fare with renters, what type of tenants you'll be attracting, and any other thoughts they have on the area. Number 4, they have great contacts. A good property manager will also have good contacts, especially when it comes to contractors or handymen. I actually found one of my contractors from my property manager, and I've had great experiences with the contractor since. Number 5, they're willing to be your boots on the ground. Now your agent will serve in this capacity as well, but you can actually get an extra set of eyes on a property that you're considering to purchase by using your property manager. They will also be able to give you input on things that may need fixing or updating to help you rent out that property, in addition to coming up with creative ways on how you may be able to save money on the rehab. This can be especially useful when you're buying a rental property for the first time. Number 6, they have online systems. They should have some sort of online system in place that will show you all the financials of your property, info on any repairs or maintenance, perform monthly deposits into your bank account, and give you any other important information on your tenants or properties that you own. Number 3, general contractor. Reliable contractors can be some of the hardest team members to find. Fortunately, I've been lucky so far to not run into any major problems in this area, but I hear some real horror stories all the time about contractors. And at the same time, a great contractor can really enhance your rental properties whenever you're fixing them up, and in turn, bring a lot of value to the table as you start to scale your real estate business. Here are 3 main attributes that I look for whenever I hire a contractor. Number 1, they're licensed, bonded, and insured. Contractors that are licensed, bonded, and insured are going to cost more than those who aren't, but it will mitigate your risk overall and protect you in certain situations. For instance, if a leak happened during a rehab on one of your properties, then you'd be covered as far as the insurance aspect is concerned. Number 2, they're open to a pay schedule. Never pay a contractor everything up front. You want to pay them in installments for every milestone they achieve. On decent sized rehabs, I like to split this up into 3 or 4 payments depending on the size of the job. Number 3, they have a good reputation. So far, I've only used contractors who have been personally recommended to me, and it's worked out great. I want to know that my contractor has a reputation for doing the work agreed upon, finishing in the time frame that was decided, and that the work that was finished was quality work. You can get a good feel for all of these things by talking with whoever referred the contractor to you or speaking with other references. Number 4, lender. Having an investor-friendly lender on your team is going to be important. A great lender is going to help work with you, give you advice on how you'll qualify for financing, and explain exactly which type of financing will work best for you. There are 2 different types of lenders you'll come across when you're buying real estate: mortgage bankers and mortgage brokers. Brokers will shop around for you to get the best rates and best terms available while taking a fee for their services, while bankers are the ones who work for the financial institutions and normally can only offer the packages that their financial institution offers. When I look for a great investor-friendly lender, I look for 2 main attributes. Number 1, they have knowledge of lending programs. This is the most important attribute because if they aren't knowledgeable in all the lending programs and rules that go along with them, they may be telling you that you won't qualify when you actually do. This could be the difference of proceeding with a great deal versus believing that you don't even qualify to make an offer. This becomes even more prevalent the more mortgages you acquire. Number 2, they work with investors. This kind of goes hand in hand with the first one. And the reason I say that is there are certain loan products or creative strategies that they'll use for the most part when they're working with investors. So if they don't know basic things like what the required down payment is on a 2 to 4 unit property or what terms like delayed financing refer to, then they're probably not going to be the lender that you want to work with in the long term. Number 5, accountant. An accountant is the person you want on your team come tax time. Although they charge for their services, a good CPA can save you way more money than you spend on their services. An accountant can also be great for strategizing with you every year in advance so that you can make decisions during the year with the tax benefits in mind. And here are 3 main attributes that I look for in my accountant. Number 1, they specialize in real estate tax law. This is pretty self-explanatory. Number 2, they have knowledge of deductions. They should have a vast understanding of all the deductions on real estate, including things like mortgage interest deduction, depreciation, or even things like repairs on a rental property. Number 3, they invest in real estate. It's good if your accountant invests in real estate because they're going to be more likely to stay up to date with all the latest tax laws that benefit real estate, since they have investment properties of their own to worry about. Number 6, real estate attorney. A good real estate attorney should specialize in real estate law. You want to make sure that they're knowledgeable about things like asset protection, that they can create or review documents for you at an affordable price, and evict tenants if you're managing your own properties. Number 7, wholesaler. A wholesaler is basically a middleman that finds a seller who's really motivated to sell their house at a discount and then links them with a cash buyer. The wholesaler can be a great team member to have, and you don't have to be limited to just one. They can be a great source of deals that are off market and can be a win-win situation for everybody involved. When I connect with wholesalers, I'm looking for the following attributes. Number 1, they're reputable. They have a strong positive history of doing deals in the area with investors. It's even better if they've been referred to you by a seasoned investor you know. Number 2, they're realistic. Some wholesalers will try and sell newbies on deals that sound too good to be true. Many often overestimate the future rents or even the after repair value on a property, and then they'll underestimate the rehab costs that it takes to renovate the property. So you need to make sure you know your numbers, and whatever you do, never purchase a deal based on wholesaler numbers. Number 3, they bring good deals. This is really the whole purpose of a wholesaler, is we want good deals that we can't find on the market. And the good ones are going to be able to bring you good deals. The key is to find the good ones, because I'd say about 95% of them are not going to be worth your time. Now, there are other team members you're going to want when you're investing in real estate, such as closing agents, insurance agents, inspectors, handymen, and other team members like that. But you can find all these team members by speaking with your real estate agent, property management, or local real estate investors. In conclusion, these are the 7 main team members you're going to want to connect with as you start buying rental property. Keep in mind that you don't need to start off with all 7 of these before you buy a deal. You can work up to this point over time. The 3 most important team members to start with in any market is going to be your real estate agent, property manager, and lender. From there, they may be able to direct you to more great team members along the way as you continue your real estate journey. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Keep an eye out for the next videos in this series on how to buy a rental property. I'm posting a new video every Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific time. If you enjoyed watching this video, do me a favor and like, comment below, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Lastly, if you want to stay up to date with me, check out my Instagram page, @TheOutOfStateInvestor. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.